okay, there's a high value for money in the States, big time. So if you want to know what a church values, follow the money trail.
Oh, wow.
Like,
Yeah.
what do they spend
Yeah.
money on? Are they giving their money away? Are they? Because I'm not saying about, again, I didn't notice. It's not about the size of the church or like, no, like what do they value? Because in America, the culture is it's a money driven society.
Totally.
And so you ask
Yeah.
yourself, what do they value? And so you can see that. And so with that, there's also like that builds to some degree within people who are on staff in the church. If they're not careful, you fall into this space where the church body or structure becomes a climbing ladder. Like you're just trying to get to the next level, and so people.
Well, it's very corporate. The church looks like the corporate.
It's
world.
very corporate.
Yeah.
It's very corporate, and so that I think that makes it more difficult for people to pursue the call to make disciples and to win people for Jesus, because they're pushing against this thing, which is a very real and like avid like thing in our society here. So
Are you saying money is that almost like challenge? It makes discipleship more challenging
to some degree, yeah.
How
here
so?
It does. Because it's what people want.
Yeah.
Like they I've found in instances where I'm trying not to drop names, but anyway, the point is, it's not supposed to be a whole other like investigative podcast.
Sure. Yeah.
No, I've just seen a lot of things where, and I'm only like 31 this year, not very old, just been a bunch of random different like spaces of opportunity to serve, and just been able to learn and to see, at least stateside, that there's a lot of push and pull for power and influence, and there's like a money like additive thing to it. Like if you wanted to be a senior pastor or something, okay, I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
There was someone who at some point was asking myself and two other pastors about starting a church and whatever. Like, oh, do you want to start a church? I was like, no, I don't want to start a church. In America, that's not what I believe God has called me to do. And then he was like, oh, okay. Well, you need 2 billionaires to start a church. I was like, 2 billionaires?
2 billion.
And in my head, I'm like, we've planted churches.
That's crazy. Yeah.
We've planted churches like with no money. Like,
Yeah.
what do you? I was like, all right, okay,
Yeah.
cool. And but that's the context of the culture here, where church planting is tied to money. Like the level of how much people are willing to give of their time to do things is tied to money. And so to find a person, for example, on staff who is able to work at a job at a church as your job, and then also find a place to serve, that's rare. Like where they actually give time that they enjoy to do things, that's very rare. And if you find those people, they're few and far in between, and they're golden. Like they have the most joy. They're enjoying what they're giving, and then promotion comes from God, and you see them flourish. It's like in wherever you plant them, because they're not tied to that desire for the climbing corporate ladder or the money is tempered by the reality that they are serving, and they're continually learning to serve and to be humble.
Yeah.
Yeah.